just jump right into it. Alex, tell us who you are.
I'm just a random young person who has ideas, and occasionally they work. And the $1 Million Homepage was kind of the first thing that I did that really kind of broke through and actually made me any money. So yeah.
So tell us a little about your the greatest idea.
What you mean?
So far.
What you mean, like in my childhood, or just like the $1 Million Homepage?
However you feel like.
Well, the $1 Million Homepage was something that I created because I was broke, and I was thinking, what would be the perfect money-making scheme? You know, like literally, what would be the golden idea? You know, like. So, I've told this story quite a few times, right? So,
I know we want to hear it one more time.
So I was on my bed, like it was about midnight, and I was brainstorming away, and I was like, right, okay, how can I make some money? Because I really need some money. I was about to go to university, right? And I wrote down the attributes of like the perfect idea. So it had to be something very simple. It had to be something with a good name that would capture people's attention. It had to be all about making money. And I had these attributes of this idea that I had yet to have. And about 20 minutes later, they kind of like went in my head and spun around a bit. And then this idea of the $1 Million Homepage was born, and it was really like so simple. I just thought, well, I'll sell 1 million pixels for $1 each.
And you were sober when you came up with the idea?
Completely sober, yeah. I was sober. Unfortunately, I would like to say that I was, in some debauched club somewhere in Amsterdam, smoking or something, and I thought, yeah, the $1 Million Homepage. But it wasn't like that. It was just at home, and it was literally just a brainstorming session that resulted in the idea, and I was kind of like, that might work, It's a bit crazy, and the internet is the perfect place for crazy ideas,
So let me get this right. You have a web page with 1 million pixels on it, and you sell each pixel for $1. Okay. How did you market this? I mean, how did people find out about this?
Okay, so the first thing that I did, I told all my friends and family, right? So that's the first thing you do when you start anything.
So you made about $2 in that, yeah?
Actually, I managed to get my family to my friends and family, and some of them had businesses, to pledge $1,000. Like, that was the kind of, that was a good start. And if the whole thing hadn't worked, then I probably would have had to give the money back, So I had $1,000, and I was like, right, I'm going to invest that in promoting the site. And I spent money on like sending out a press release saying how I was about to become a student and I had this crazy idea to make money. And luckily that press release kind of, for some reason, got picked up by the BBC and some newspapers in the UK. And on the day those articles went out, the site made like $2,000. And then the next day it made like $2,500, and then it made $3,000. And it just literally started overnight. Like this idea just became this like money-making machine. And it was that simple. It was really, and once the ball was rolling, it was like there was no stopping it. It was like the snowball effect, As I made money, people looked at the site, and as more people looked at the site, I made more money. It was like that true snowball effect.
So you sat in your bed, reloaded page every couple hours just to see money rolling in without really doing anything. Well, that's the brilliance of it all, isn't it?
The thing is, people think they think I sat around for like 4 months doing nothing, but like we have this saying in the UK, like there's no.
But like you had to go to the bank and put all the money in, right?
Well, yeah, there was that, but PayPal handled all the money, so that was kind of easy. But basically, I spent my days just doing interviews like this, like doing interview after interview after interview, like from just like people around the world just asking me about the same things, but that kind of like perpetuated the whole thing, and so basically it was like a media circus for like 4 months, and in between the interviews I was refreshing the page. All right, okay,
and laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, laughing. I guess I was a bit, yeah. Or not laughing, but just kind of like in shock. Oh, right, this is actually working. It's kind of.
So how long did it actually take for you to sell all 1 million pixels?
So it took about 4.5 months. I actually put the last 1,000 pixels on eBay and had like this big kind of 10-day eBay auction. So the last 1,000 pixels actually they actually sold for $38,000. Which is like a little bonus kind of.
So $1 million wasn't enough, so you got $1 million and 28,000 on top of it.
Yeah, exactly, a little bit extra. Just the thing was like, it was so difficult because I literally had to turn the site off. Like there was one day, it was New Year's Eve, and the site like went ballistic, and there was like 20,000 people logging on like every hour. and the money was just flowing in at a rate of about $100,000 an hour. But after about an hour and a half, I literally had to turn PayPal off. So you're literally turning away people who are throwing money at you. And the only way I could really kind of like finish it was by kind of doing an eBay auction, trying to take advantage of some of that excess demand, you know, like.
Have you considered just increasing the resolution a little bit to 2 or 3 million pixels?
I think that would have undermined the concept a bit. Like, you know, the whole thing was built on exclusivity. It was 1 million pixels, $1 million, and like people said, why don't you just open a second page? And I think that would have been kind of, well, the $1 million homepage was cheeky, but to open another page would have just been taking the piss.
You know, I think $1 million homepage 2.0 would work quite well even today. What do you think?
Yeah, we would have had some gradients, some rounded corners.
Exactly, a bit of tags thrown in.
We would have tagging, user-generated content. You know, it would have been 2.0 frenzy, but I think we were kind of caught in the middle. It's like 1.5. You know, there was kind of like that. Yeah.
Okay. So who actually bought? What kind of companies or people bought the advertising on the site?
It was a whole range, really. It was like mostly I sold to small businesses. So I think I had about like something like 3,500 advertisers, and the majority were small businesses. Websites and that sort of thing. The biggest company, though, there was a few kind of blue chip companies. The biggest company was Orange, the mobile phone network. And actually, I was a bit upset because I only bought a tiny little square. I was thinking you could have
cheap,
a little bit cheap, but you know, it was just a really interesting, like, to see the variety of the different brands and websites on the page. You know.
So, do you still have $1 million?
No, this is the thing. Everybody thinks that I've got like $1 million in the bank, right?
Well, yeah. What about taxes?
Well, obviously I had to pay some tax, right? But everyone thinks I have $1 million, and that's it. I have $1 million. I can spend as much money as I want, but you've got $1 million in your bank account, and obviously that's not true. I had to pay tax, and PayPal took like 3% of all the transactions, and like by the time you whittle it down, it's not the $1 million kind of that you think it is. But obviously, I was in a lot better position than before, you know.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've spent a bit of money, you know, I've invested a bit of money, and there's still some in the bank, kind of spreading the risk, really, you know. Yeah. It was an interesting experience to like go from having no money to suddenly 4 months later having £500,000 or, you know, $1 million. Yeah. Bizarre.
Yeah, no kidding. So what are you up to now?
Okay, so it's a bit difficult actually because I'm working on something, but it's
2.0.
Well, I guess you could say it's 2.0, but it's all stealthy, so I can't really talk about it. Right. And Paul's obviously laughing because he finds that funny that I'm suddenly in the position where I'm asked about things I'm doing now, but something's in the pipeline, and you have to wait about 6 months, and something will happen. But it's something completely different, obviously.
It's the next $1 million idea.
It's the billion. It's the Three Musketeers. It's the $1 billion homepage.
$1 billion.
No, it's not really. Obviously, it's actually a genuine startup with actual
selling pixels.
Not pixels. My pixel days are behind me. I've retired from the pixel game. You know, I felt like I've done my bit. So actually working on something tangible and useful.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. I'm looking forward to catching up with you once that, you know, goes public.
Yeah. Intruders TV. I will.
The exclusive?
The exclusive. Yeah, you're putting me in a bit.
Fantastic. You've heard it all here. Intruders.tv. Alex Steve from $1 Million Homepage. Thank you very much.